Welcome back to Traveler'S Proc. Today we are here to talk about a bunch of different things.
Wait, is it live?
Is it live, Billy? Oh.
Okay, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, we can't hear anything on our headsets. Can you hear the mic?
Wait, chat hears us, right?
Does chat hear us? Well, welcome back to Traveler'S Proc if you guys do hear us. We're talking about Halloween stuff today and just a bunch of random stuff. They hear us.
They hear us. We're good. We're good. No worries.
No worries, Billy. Okay. Welcome back to Traveler'S Proc for the third time. I was laughing with Mike. I was literally talking to him. It's literally not my stream unless someone's mic is muted. Some audio doesn't work. Like, I swear to God, I literally stream every night. Oh my God, I hear myself. Yeah. What the?
Now I can hear you so clearly.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Okay, I can't hear you.
Okay, we're
good. We're good. That's
perfect. As you were saying.
But there's always an issue, so it's just a standard part of my stream, like standard procedure. Is this mine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, definitely standard procedure in my stream, so nothing special here. So TI was today. League Worlds had some matches also earlier this morning, and then there was also 2 sets of Smite. Pretty action-packed day, I would say.
Yeah, big MOBA day.
Yeah.
MOBA fans for sure.
Did you watch? You said you watched the TI, right?
I watched literally like the last game of the final because I was watching the SPL with Laspera together, and I just like the feeling of watching people win, like, you know, Worlds, TI, whatever you want to call it, for like different games. It's so cool. So yeah, it was cool. We looked it up. The team that won, I recognize their name. They won like spoiler alert for people who maybe want to watch it later. Like Team Spirit, they won like 2 years ago as well. So I guess they're just insane.
Do they have a lot of the same players when you looked it up?
I think they had at least
a couple
like
different players.
I think it looked like mostly the same roster, but I couldn't tell. The website was like, it was like Liquipedia or whatever. Like I couldn't tell if I was reading it correctly, but it seemed like they were all active currently, like all the old players. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I feel like for any game, if you win Worlds twice, especially with the same roster or even close to the same roster, is a pretty big accomplishment because it's super hard to win once.
Yeah.
So
it was cool too because when I looked it up, the team that won, they were like 13th through 16th like last year. So they went from like winning to like having a pretty bad like Worlds, I guess, and then winning again. I feel like that's kind of cool if you can like have a similar roster and then like get back there. That's pretty impressive.
Nice. That's crazy.
Did you watch the league games this morning?
Yeah, I
Last
watched
night, whenever you slept, I guess.
I watched I went to bed. I watched the highlights. It was G2 and that was the G2 energy set, I think, was 2 days ago. I'm all lost with the I try to stay up till like because the games actually started early. It was
nice.
It was KT versus
Fnatic
K plus, I think.
Oh, there was that's right.
Yeah.
It's KT and
it was Def's team.
DK. Yeah.
I think it was DK.
Yeah, and then it was Fnatic Weibo, something like that.
Yes, I think so. And then Energy G2 was 2 days ago. I actually watched the first game actually no, that's a lie. I watched all of the KT versus DK plus.
Yeah.
Like this morning technically.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch any of the Fnatic set. I watched the highlights for that. But it was crazy that I think game 2 is best of 3. The format's really interesting as well.
The Swiss.
Swiss. A lot of people were... It's called the Swiss, but then people are arguing that it's not a Swiss. And then people are liking this version of a Swiss. So it was... I've seen like... It's funny because it's like a classic thing that I feel like Smite players would complain about as well on Reddit.
Yeah.
It's like there's like so many people complaining about it, and I was like, oh my God, this looks like Smite Reddit right now when it comes to things like this. But I thought it was really interesting. Like every game matters, and it was kind of like a round robin type of thing with the Swiss, and then it was like best of 1s and best of 3s in the round robin to get eliminated. So I thought that was cool. And then game 2 of KT or not KT, no, sorry, game 2 of DK Plus versus KT, right? DK Plus was 4th seed LCK, which is a 4th seed Korean team, versus KT, which is 3rd seed. DK Plus was 0-5 versus KT. They had a huge lead game. Can't remember if it was game 1 or game 2.
Game 1 they were had a lot. They had like
game 1. Yeah,
they had Soul in game 1 and then got like wiped.
They gave up 4 dragons in a row and then they got 0 ulted at Baron and lost the game. It was crazy game. But yeah, no, it's been fun. I've been trying to watch as many games as I can. All the NA teams are out besides Energy, though. Yeah. All the Western teams are out besides Energy as well, right?
I couldn't believe that G2 actually... One, I didn't think G2 was going to lose to Energy.
Me neither.
And then 2, after... So I stayed up and watched... I think I watched Game 1 and Game 2 of the Fnatic set, and I think I fell asleep in the middle of Game 3. And I thought they were going to win, like, off of Game 1. They kind of stomped their... Oh my gosh, their jungler, like Razork, I think is his name, or something like that.
Yeah.
He was owning so hard. That was actually a jungle gap set for like the first 2 games. And
it went 2-1, right? The series?
Yeah, it went 2-1. I think they were in a good spot in game 2, and I think they just got outscaled. But I don't know the champs that well in League. Like, watching TI every year, like I only will ever watch TI like a little bit. I watched literally 1 game this year.
Yeah.
I got no idea what's going on. I don't know what any of the characters do. I like hardly understand the game mechanics. League at least is nice because like their map play is pretty similar. Like their dragon mechanic is like a little bit more impactful, I would say, than Gold Fury. But I think like Rift Herald, I think is a little bit less impactful than like Pyro throughout the game and stuff like that. And like Baron and FG are like pretty similar. Like just the way the map play works, the way they like split push lanes, play early, all that is really cool to me. Jungle in League is actually so funny to me because I feel like it's like the way Smite used to be, where it has like they literally have to buy Smite, which is just Hog. Like, you know, it's Hog and Smite in League, which is a little confusing. But they're literally just map control bots. They're just like map control, engage, and you smite the objective to secure it, and that's it. That's like all they do.
Yeah, I was watching a set. I was kind of watching with Cyclone, was just messaging about it. I was watching it directly with him. But he's like, I can't even ever tell what's going on in League because someone's always split pushing. It looks like they're trolling. And I'm like, that's just how League is.
Yeah, they're always split in. Yeah.
Like, you actually can split the map. And, like, it's crazy that Smite, you just get gold for the wave when it dies. Like, every other MOBA, like, I guess, like, League, at least, I don't know every other MOBA, but at least the other big MOBAs in League and Dota, you need to actually last hit to get gold from the minion wave.
Yeah.
And I think I like that about Smite, that you don't have to get last hits. I think it makes the game very interesting. It makes it a lot more fast paced because you see people tag waves in Smite and then rotate. Like, I remember my brother was playing for the OTK event and like there was like a couple things he could never get used to. Like, that was one of the things where he's like, oh, I don't have to last hit. I'm like, you just tag the wave and you can just rotate. Like, if you're a jungler, like, you tag the mid wave and then go keep farming. You don't have to, like, last hit it to get gold or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing is that I thought that was interesting that he said every fight he's like, look on me. Like, that's like what you call in League because it's top down, so everybody could see like where everybody's at. But if you're over a wall and you're saying like on me and Smite, like they can't see exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really make that call in Smite is where you could in League. So those were like 2 funny things I thought that he had to get used to when he was playing a bunch of Smite for that weekend.
Yeah. Do you know what my favorite thing about League is? It's actually the way their teleport works. I feel like it's so cool. Like, I love watching champs go TP in mid as well, and they'll have like the way they play the map with double teleport is so cool because it happened yesterday. It was I think it was the Fnatic set, like something that I think League players are really good at, like macro wise, is like they really take prio on like mid lane push, for example. So like, let's say we're doing like a Gold Fury or a Fire Giant, and you like didn't contest the mid wave before the Gold Fury or Fire, people will just run it up mid, and they'll just like go take like turrets, they'll go like contest whatever, which like people in Smite kind of do.
I think the Kings did that a lot at the beginning of this year from memory, and then Kirmi did it today actually as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, listening. Yeah, it was really good. But yeah, it's like interesting to see it because it's so different in League compared to Smite because of the way teleport works. Like, there was a game where Fnatic tried to do that. They were like losing positioning around a Drake, and they started running up mid, and they got poked like over the wall, and then I think it was the Shy. He like literally TP'd on a minion wave where they were retreating to, And the way TP works in League is like if you start teleporting to a minion, the minion's invulnerable. Like you can't kill it, so they can't stop him from TPing, and then he just gets like an instant like engage. They kill people, like basically win the game off of it. But yeah, TP is so insane in League. I just love it. Also, like their top champs, I think a lot of them are like actually really good brawlers in like the mid to late game. Like 1v1ing top champs, a lot of them like. I think Renekton is really good at it, for example. Like, you'll always see people who play Renekton, they'll, like, bully up the lane, and then whenever the ADCs, whenever the ADs, like start rotating, you instantly see them, like, go bot, and they just, like, 1v1 people. It's so cool the way they do it. I think the game, like, the KT-DK game, when they gave up, DK literally had Dragon Soul, like, as fast as you could get it. They did, like, 4 Drakes off cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
And then KT was still like within like 1k gold the whole game. They were just split pushing and farming, and I just love stuff like that.
Yeah, they gave all the plates, like tower plates are kind of like the bastions, I guess, in Smite. They gave it to their hunter, and he just rotated around. I think they cross mapped and got him like a couple extra turret plating. Yeah, and he got really fed.
Yeah, and they just funneled him basically.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of untapped potential in Smite with teleport. Sure. I feel like. Yeah. I mean, we saw today too.
Alec was going crazy with it.
There's a TP Final K had in mid. Ven didn't even see the teleport
behind him on the ward. Yeah.
That would have been sick if he got a kill off.
Dude, he was so close to hitting the 2 after beads before he like bog dashed in the wall. It was so close.
That would have been a sick play. But
it was
like,
a cool play.
I feel like there's a lot of cool things. I think Haddix last year, at the end of the phase, he used his teleport a ton as well, like to make cross map rotations. I think we've seen that a lot, like over the course of the year. But I feel like there's still a lot more that can be done with teleport if people actually try to make plays with it, which were cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there was a sick play that I had that I put a ward on Panda's Bifrost when he was Heim, and I had called for Baskin's teleport, and I forced his Bifrost, and that was sick, and we got a kill off that. But like plays like that are so sick. If you can make a cool play with teleport, it always feels really good.
Yeah, I think especially if you're like planning it as a team, like if you're a soul laner, brings it up, or they're like, hey, I'm like good to rotate, like if you guys can set something up, or like in the case that you just said where you have an idea where you're like, oh, they don't like see this ward, like, you know, you can flank them. Yeah, I love it. It also makes for such like teleport play moments, or just like kind of just flanks in general, but specifically like TP plays around gold in tournaments. I remember it was like some of my early memories of like watching Smite like season 2 and season 3.
The Chaos one?
Yeah, the Chaos one was sick. That's iconic. The world's like Jean Kui teleport. There's also a bunch of ones. I feel like every solo laner kind of did it a little bit, but just like literally TPing behind people at gold on like red buff, and you would just come around and say, what's up? And then they're just all dead. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, I feel like Smite has a ton of history just within the game, and I feel like things always come back around. Like
they do, yeah.
Every so often. Like for instance, like right now they buffed a bunch of the crit items, and like I feel like crit hunters are back, and it's been a while since we've seen like crit like be really good. It was like
good. The start of this year before SPL, I feel like.
Yeah. And then like just like teleport plays, I feel like were a lot more common before, and I feel like at the end of last year they started becoming like a lot more common again.
Yeah,
it's just cool how stuff comes back. It's like fashion.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Like every so often some style comes back that everybody's like hating on for so long, and then everybody's like, oh wait, this is actually kind of decent.
Yeah, I love it because everyone gets so like they get so tunnel visioned within a specific like meta in Smite. Like right now it's like all the Mage solo stuff, and then it's like it's kind of cool when you see games like today, because I think Final K and Haddix both had TP in one of the games today. Maybe it was like
game 5.
Yeah, and they were just like making TP plays together, and it was like it's kind of refreshing to not see the double Mage, just to actually see like TP plays and see like more action early game. I like it.
I've been loving the double Mage in ranked, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so fun to play.
Moswell said, are you just a Poseidon guy now? On my stream yesterday you were laughing at that.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Poseidon and Raijin ranked. Oh my god, I've been having so much fun. I love playing Poseidon, and it's a mini game to me at this point. I just try to pull Fire Giant at 10 minutes like every game.
Yeah,
like if I just need to not die in lane, or if I die in lane I can't like get like last night I got owned. I did not pay attention to the draft, and there was a dodgy on the other team, and I went teleport instead of beads.
Ooh,
it was Poseidon,
that's tough, yeah.
And I got camped, and I was like, okay, I deserve this, but
yeah,
I should have went beads. But if I don't die a lot like that, I'll try to pull fire 10 minutes every time, even if it's bad. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like some of those mage characters specifically are just like Poseidon, Morgan, Raijin. I've seen like Agni solos in my game. They just spam cooldowns. They're so fun. They're just so fun to play.
And then Vamp Shroud makes it fun too, because you get poked out, and then you're level 20 with the blood soaked. You go to a wave,
full heal,
full health. It's so sick.
It reminds me of like when Marty first came out. And you'd have Soul Eater on Marty, and you'd just go from like 20% full health off a wave. Like,
dude, I remember every time I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that's actually a thing. I said that in my head every time I saw that happen. I was like, wow, he heals a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, it always surprises me like how much Marty actually healed for.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I feel like that a lot of people like wouldn't go anti-heal against him either, and he'd just do that in a team fight, and he'd be so much harder to kill just because all the healing he's doing as well.
Yeah, that's like I feel like throughout Smite history, the biggest cope ever is people are just like, I don't need to anti-heal this game. You just like try to dive a hunter, they just absolutely own you. They're just critting you. They heal like 100 off an auto. Like, you need anti-heal versus hunters.
You know what else you need against hunters?
The Spectral.
Thorns.
Oh yes. What a segue.
You've been on your Thorns.
Yeah.
Thorns arc. Tell me about the Thorns arc, and tell me about or is it like, are you like a politician for Thorns or something? Like, I just vote for Thorns.
I do love my propaganda. I specifically like it because just everybody is going crazy. Like the Mage solo stuff really sparked it, but like even after the set that just played before we're recording this is Leviathans and Ravens, and literally right after that set, like half the players on Twitter are just like, oh, mid is so broken. Like Scream instantly is like, sorry guys, I don't know how to kill a level 20 mid laner at 16 minutes, comma, mid is OP, by the way. Like people just love saying every role other than their own is bad, and I just love like, so now I'm just like, I want to buff something that makes you really hate your role. Like I want Thorns back. Like I miss when I got to be like a Hercules or something, or like Fenrir. Fenrir is my favorite. Like season 7 Fenrir, I would just go Thorns and Peridwen. I would just bite them and they're just
big
dead.
Dog with Thorns, and you're just running around like the massive shield. If they hit you, they take 1 million damage. If they don't hit you, you just pull them back in their team and do 1 million damage to them.
I love it so much. There was like I remember for some reason we were like, someone reminded me of something in season 7, so I like gave him a clip of like, I have the comms recorded and I listened to it really quick. I was playing Fenrir in one of the finals games, and I literally walk up to Zap, and I have all my runes on my Fenrir alt, and I dog bit him for 600. Peridwen, he damaged my Peridwen. It hit him for 400, and then he killed himself on Thorns. I literally just bit him once, and he just died to Thorns. I was like, oh, where is that? Like, I need. What happened to the game I love? I miss it so much.
I feel like that's the biggest thing when people always say this is OP, that is OP. I feel like a lot of it is why people say it, especially the people who've played for a long time, is like they really like a couple metas, and they're like, this is the ideal meta for my or the ideal patch for my role, and then it should always be like this, and then everybody's like, if it's not like this, the game is not good. That's literally what everybody's like, which is a complete fair thing to be and or a complete fair way to feel, but I feel like that's why people are always saying this role is OP, that role is OP.
Dude, that's why I'm doing the Thorns thing, just as like, it's like a joke to me, but like, I mean, I think I wouldn't mind if Thorns got buffed, but I'm like, oh my god, tanks are so dead, I need Thorns. Like I like playing peel supports as well or whatever.
Yeah. But
soul laners are so criminal with it lately. They're like, oh, mages are OP, guess I'm just playing a mage. By the way, every warrior sucks. Then you look on the SPL and they're just playing like Herc Ama every
It was a top
game.
damage Wukong in the last game of the last set.
Yeah, dude, Baskin played Herc in your set.
Yeah.
And not that the rest of you didn't play well, but he was actually 1v9ing.
I mean, he was unkillable,
he was going insane.
They could he literally dashed in and he's like, and we're like, don't fight. And he's like, oh, and he just walks out. It was so funny in the game. Like, dude. He's like, I'm going in, and then everybody's like, no, do not do that. And then he did, and then he runs back. He's like, oh, okay. And they're all hitting him the entire time. He's like, I'm dead. And he's like, oh wait, I'm not dead. It was
like,
so funny.
They were like Freya Uller, right? And I don't think they had anti-heal. And he would just he would just pop his 3, and I'd see him he does the Herc thing where you like run around a circle, kind of, you're spinning your camera, and then he just like whips his 2, hits someone, gets their beads, does it again. I just love it. It gave me flashbacks. I love that character so much.
Yeah, Herc's always fun to play. I mean, I can't believe He was as good as he was in season 6. He was so crazy. Season 7 he was really good too.
He was nerfed at that point too though.
But season 6 it was actually, that character was a crime to the game.
Yeah, it was not fair. His passive was so broken.
And just the way the invade was with his passive was, you literally walk into a jungler, you'd win 1v1 guaranteed. It was so broken. But
yeah, I think, I don't know, it's kind of the thing you said where it's like a fashion, or it's like trendy, or it goes in circles, like any terminology you want to use for it. I always love that, because it's like when I say people are stupid, I don't mean they're like literally stupid and their ideas aren't good, but like people get so tunnel visioned, like even within like, so there hasn't been like a super big patch for the most part for like the past couple weeks. I think we did have a patch 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, we had the last big patch is like where they changed a lot of the gods, where they gave a bunch of gods different.
It was like a little Maui buff and so. Oh, you mean the one like even before?
The spicy patch.
They did like the Kabrakan one.
Yeah, that was the last big patch, and then they did like a couple things like the most recent patch, which were still. They're doing a lot of changes though this year. I feel like compared to the end of last year, like the end of last year, at this point of SPL, like there was not that many changes at all. For sure. So.
Yeah, I think the interesting part is like, even then the changes haven't been like for example, a lot of the characters that people were like literally like 3 weeks ago, every game was 2 assassins in mid, and now like last week it was like every game was 2 mages in solo, and like people kind of go back and forth, and I just like seeing how like people's brain bounce around.
I think the one thing we could talk about too is that a lot of people I've seen talk about on the cast, just a bunch of different streamers, just on Reddit, like the actual Smite Reddit, almost anywhere you look at Smite, everybody's talking about Breastplate, and I think that's another reason why we're seeing a lot of the mages, because I think a lot of the warriors players in Soul Lane do not like that every single player has a breastplate almost. Like even the mage hunters, I think today we saw like Stu go breastplate on Oleron one of the games. So like every role,
I think Hardcore did it against you guys too, didn't he? He went like 6-item breastplate, I think.
Yeah, I think so. And then Cyclone did it a couple sets ago as well once. And then a lot of people are just going breastplate, and it's every single role, including the hunter role. Like sometimes when people are playing mages, so I think a lot of the Soul Laners are like, why play a warrior when everybody has breastplate? So
it's so funny. Like breastplate, I remember the first thing I saw when it got buffed, every like comment on Twitter is like, oh, paw plate got buffed and stuff. And then like, it's just funny because like every carry, like you said, is actually going it all the time. I don't know what I think about breastplate. Like part of me is like, part of me thinks it's really broken. And then the other part of me thinks it's like a little overrated. Like I see a lot of people saying to nerf the glyph, but I don't actually think the glyph is why people are buying it in the first place. Like obviously it helps, but like, the big thing, I just feel like it's so stat efficient. Like, it's just so cost efficient for what it does.
Yeah. The other thing I will say, too, I think the glyph was good before the buff. Agreed, and it's like another thing in Smite. Like, it happens all the time. We were talking about this. I can't remember what episode it was. It was a couple episodes ago. How there's just so much, like, untapped potential in the game. Yeah. Like, it's like another thing that's been in the game for so long. It was one of the first glyphs introduced into the game. I think a couple people bought it like when it got
nerfed once before, I think.
But I think people were
still good.
People were memeing on people that were buying it, but it was good back then. Like when people were buying it, no one bought it, and now everybody's buying it. And I think it was still pretty good before, and now people are starting to realize now, oh wow, this is actually sick.
Yeah, so. I think it was at Season of Souls they did the like stat squish earlier this year. And for some of the items, I remember saying it to Nika before that tournament. I'm like, dude, why don't you just build this glyph every game? Because they nerfed the base stats on breastplate. But
that's true too, actually.
Yeah, they nerfed the base stats, but they didn't nerf the glyph. So I'm like, if you just buy this item is more it was more procs than like, it might have even been more procs than Thebes at the time, like when it's, proc'd or whatever. Right? Yeah. I was just like, this item's got to be insane.
That is also true. I didn't even think about that. Is a good point as well. Like with the stat squish for all the items, not for the gods itself. That was the year before, but for the items, they basically squished on all the items earlier this year, and they didn't touch the breastplate glyph, which is
it was really bloated,
huge thing. So. That is a good point. It's been good definitely since then, and it was probably even good before then as well. So
yeah, I'm kind of Yeah, I don't know what I think. I think in general, the number one thing I've learned from the last like few years of the Smite community is no matter what the item is, or no matter what the item is, no matter what damage type it is, people do not want to see damage dealers buying defense. They just don't want to. Honestly, they need to play more duel, because like you just got to get used to it. I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like the idea that a carry can also counterbuild. Like, because for me, like part of the reason I like support so much is I feel like I can go into a game, I can play different styles of characters. Like I could play assassins, guardians, mages, warriors in any meta. Pretty much anything except for hunters. I feel like I've been able to play throughout my career. I can build almost any relic I want. I can build a ton of different items. Sometimes I can even go like damage. Like I just feel like I have like an open like sandbox to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like why shouldn't other roles be able to do that as well? Like why does a hunter have to buy 5 damage items and a damage starter? Like why can't they go like Magi's Revenge or whatever, or Breastplate, Shoguns? Like I personally like it, but I know a lot of people don't share that.
Yeah, the thing is too is like I feel like it's hard to make tank items good sometimes, because if you do, more people than supports and soul laners will start buying it, and that's when like you said, the Smite community is like, oh no, stop doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
actually I will say, because Fluffy in chat that just said like, why don't you guys go Divine on Afro support? It's kind of interesting to say that, because like I got a lot of flame earlier in the year because I would go a damage item on Afro, but like she got buffed and she got changed a bunch of different ways, but like I always wanted to play Afro support, and I used to like scrim with her like throughout the other seasons, like here and there.
Yeah.
And Divine's actually OP on that character, because I don't know if you remember it, but there was like a season 5 meta where it was Afro solo, and they would literally go full tank, and then they would go Reaver was way more broken back then.
Yeah.
Way more broken.
It was the top damage for it was better than your skills basically.
It's so nuts. So they would literally go 4 tank items, like starter could be one of them, or 3 tank items, however you want to look at it. And then they would go Reaver and Divine, and you would link to an assassin, and you would just go in, they're full anti-healed off Divine plus Brawlers, yeah, and then you just one-tap them with a Reaver proc. Like, that actually is a really good way to play Afro. But then the second thing that was mentioned was Chronos Pendant. That's actually my biggest issue with Breastplate, is I feel like it does, like when you compare 20% CDR items, because like at the end of the day, if you're buying Breastplate, like the mana is nice, the MP5 is nice, the procs are nice, but like a lot of people wouldn't buy it as much as they are if it didn't have 20% CDR. Because like an example is Contagion. Like Contagion is really, really well statted. It gives you so many things, but damage rolls don't want to buy it because it doesn't give you CDR. And I feel like that's my only issue with Breastplate, is it's so stat efficient for the CDR that like Jotun's is really good, but I don't think I'd ever buy Chronos Pendant over Breastplate right now. Like I just think I would never do it pretty much.
Yeah. Chronos Pendant was seen a lot earlier this year before the Breastplate craze went off. I think Jake buys Chronos Pendant even right now a little bit, is what I've seen. Like he had it on Charon.
He likes to go like double like stacking auras, I think, like Thebes, Chronos,
That build's so much fun.
It is.
I love going that build support, on like any support. It's like one of the most fun builds you can go for sure. And it's good too, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting, like it's always so hard for tank items to be good for the game, because eventually if it's a good tank item and it's going to be built on a carry roll, and then everybody's going to be like, no, stop it, please nerf it. But it's hard. It's really hard to balance like a good tank item. I think we even saw Sot building Thebes like earlier this phase at the beginning.
Yep.
And like that's an item that's been known to only be really built on supports, and it's been a good item. And that's probably like the best example of like a tank item that isn't picked up by other roles. I mean, he is a tank at the end of the day because he was playing solo lane,
right? But
usually solo laners wouldn't buy it, and it was like that was like the golden item of like, this is a support item only, and supports are only going to buy this, but it is very good, well-statted item. And Sot's like, nope, I'm buying it, and he bought it, and it was it was going well for him. But I feel like it's really hard to make an item that doesn't creep into other roles without putting some like without putting some other negative effect on it, like the masks, for instance. Like if you, that's like the only way you can really do it, where you're like, this is what you only are building this if you're doing that, basically.
Yeah. I think it's interesting because like we were talking about last week with like basketball, where it's like positionless basketball. Like I remember when I used to play with Twig, I would like joke to him about it because I would like he plays a lot of Duel. He's way better at Duel than me, but I like playing Duel a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
And something I like about Duel is kind of the same thing. Like the counter building in that mode can be pretty fun because like you can build defense for the other person. Like you'll notice like one defense item, it makes a big difference, but like you can still kill people in Duel like both ways. Like they can have defense and you can still kill them, and then you can have defense and you can still kill. Like you're so killable. It just changes like the pacing of the fights a little bit. And I kind of like the idea of like I mentioned to Twig, I'm like, why don't we just have 5 people play Duel? Like obviously you still go like your support starters, you still go whatever. And, like, you know, your hunter probably builds more damage because you have to kill fire, you have to kill phoenixes, all this stuff. But, like, the idea of, like, positionless smite, I like a lot. Like, mages in support or mages in solo or, like, assassins in mid or anything like that.
Guardians in mid as well.
Yeah. I love seeing that type of stuff and seeing, like, people get really creative. And it's kind of what you said where people are just, like, they have that picture in their mind of, like, this is when I enjoyed the game most. This is exactly what I want it to be. And I kind of think it's troll because, like, you're also kind of saying you don't want the game to change, and then when the game doesn't change, you're saying you're bored because it hasn't changed. So it's like, you can't have it both ways.
Or if it doesn't change to the way you want it as well.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for sure.
Because it could still change towards the way what people want, but then they're not happy. But I think that's the hardest part about, I guess, keeping up with Smite, even if you're not, like, a pro player, like, just anybody. Like, the game's always changing.
Yep.
So if you don't play for like a month, there's going to probably be 1 or 2 patches that come out. Even if it's little things, they still add up. And then if you don't play for like 4 months for some reason, you probably have something to do. You come back and you're like, what is this game that I've learned to love? Like, it's so different now.
Yeah.
But like, that's just part of it, I feel like. And
I think it's part of what makes MOBAs fun as well if you are a MOBA player too.
For sure. And that's why there's so many like players that have stuck around, I feel like, in all different MOBAs for so long, because there's always changes and there's always something new that you can do, and there's always like new characters coming out as well, new map mechanics. Like we had the beacon this year, which was really cool, I feel like. Things like that, and it always makes it hard for players that aren't like involved with the game all the time come back and be like, what am I playing now? Like, what is this thing in the middle of the lane? What are these tikis? Like, I literally was coaching someone like this past week, and he's like, yeah, I just came back. I've played since like season 2. I've played on and off. I literally load back in my first game like a couple weeks ago for a while. There's these tikis. I type in chat, what do these tikis do? GG F6 at 10. You're so bad. That's literally what they said. That you don't even know what they do. Like, that's another thing too, is that I guess the community that's what makes it bad more so than the changes. Like, people aren't patient with other players, especially in games. But
yeah, people are definitely way less willing to like to explain stuff to people, for sure. Dude, I remember I played a Yemoja game yesterday, and I'm like on my main account, and I'm literally capped MMR. I have a Masters border Yemoja or whatever. I pick Yemoja. Guy types in my game, GG, we pick too hard a god, we lose. And then he was like, why don't you play Kepri? You need to play something easy. And he wasn't like trying to BM me, the player. It's like someone who has ranked trauma from their teammates playing Yemoja. I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like people...
That's like with me with Janice.
Yeah, true. People just have preconceived notions. They're just like, I cannot stand it. You know what was funny? Athena was that character before. I feel like everyone hated having an Athena on their ranked team.
Yeah.
And now if Athena gets through, people are like, oh my god, who didn't ban
Everybody
Athena?
loves Athena now.
Yeah, who didn't ban Athena, man? Yeah. What do you think they're going to do with the... do you think we're seeing no more Breastplate?
What do you mean? Like,
well, I haven't read the
patch?
Yeah, I haven't read the Reddit, so I don't know. Like, are people like really upset about it?
I don't think they're super upset, but I think some people. I don't think it's as much. What I think is people don't like the mages in solo, is what I've seen at least.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And I think the big part of the mages in solo is the breastplate. So maybe that's one thing they'll like attack to like try to reduce the mages in solo lane if they actually listen to a lot of the community's feedback on that. but we'll see. I have no idea.
I think it's interesting. I know there's been discussions about it. I think it's interesting that everybody says the physical defense items are so much better than the magical defense items. I actually kind of feel the opposite, like as a support player, because like I feel like a lot of the magical items have a lot of utility. Like
they are really good.
Like Shogun's or Talisman, Oni's is good. Like I think even like Absolution, there can be times it's really good. Yeah,
very good. Like look at the stats on Pestilence; it's crazy.
Yeah.
The problem is though, I think people say that. Is because usually there's more physical characters in the game.
That's true.
So I feel like if you build a magical defense item, especially if you ever play support or like soul lane or like any role that builds defense, you're like, this feels much worse than a physical
especially
defense
if you have
item.
to like go tank a tower or anything like that. Yeah,
that as well. Like minions and towers do physical damage, and then also like hunters are just gonna do the highest damage late game. Like
yeah,
for sure. Like consistent damage. Like obviously if you get hit by like a Kulkan ult or like a raw ult, you'll take a lot of damage. But
right.
Like hunters are gonna throw out like a half of a Kulkan ult every single time they hit you with something.
Don't tell ADC players that. They don't want to hear it.
But yeah, like that's why I think people always are like, yeah, physical items are better just because hunters just do so much consistent damage late game, and if you're lacking physical defense, I think that's why people say it. At least that's what I
definitely
imagine.
Makes sense, because I look at the actual items. I'm like, no one's complaining that like Contagion is OP. Like I like Contagion more than Pestilence personally, not because of stats, but I just like the damage. Like it's just a fun item to build.
I love that item because everybody gets annoyed. Like if you get hit by a Contagion thing,
like,
you know the person's like they're like, oh my god, the item is so dumb. Dude, like I love that item.
It's like when people share like AMC honey, but it's even more because it's like the pulsing. If your teammate keeps getting hit by it and they bring it to you, like the pulsing annoys me too. Like if I'm playing mid and my support gets hit and I just hear just get away from me, man. I can't stand it. But I love it. I love that item.
This has nothing to do with Smite, but Halloween's on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Did you go trick-or-treating when you were younger? Or
of course, yeah, all the time.
What was your best Halloween costume that you dressed up as? I could go first if you need to think about it.
Go for it.
So it was like 8th grade, which is like the last year of middle school, like 1 year before high school. I mean, it's different in Europe, I know, and in different parts of the world, like schooling. But like I was like 13 years old, basically, if you don't know what 8th grade is. But I had a golden Buddha costume, and it was the funniest thing ever. My mom thought it was the funniest thing. I remember I came to school, and everybody's like, who is that? It was like a huge like costume with like a big stomach, like a gold helmet. It was so funny. It was the funny thing.
That's such a costume as well.
It was my best costume I had. It was from I didn't make it. It was obviously from a costume store, but it was my favorite costume I had trick-or-treating for sure.
Dude, I don't remember all my costumes. I remember like I was really into Star Wars when I was a kid, so I definitely had like multiple years where I'd have like some sort of Star Wars themed costume.
I dressed up as a football player like twice, I remember.
I do remember at one point I think I was a really little kid. I think it's my first, I don't know if it's my best costume, but it's like my first memory of trick-or-treating. I want to say I went as like Scooby-Doo or something, and I was loving that. I did love Scooby-Doo, and I'm pretty sure like I do remember that's like awesome. Trick-or-treating. I do remember like opening the door and just saying like ruh-roh or something, you know? Like I did love that when I was a kid.
Dude, I love trick-or-treating. I trick-or-treated all the way until my sophomore year of high school, I think. What was your last year trick-or-treating?
It was either freshman or sophomore year, same thing, yeah.
Yeah. I could have went again, honestly. Like if I wanted to junior year, I should have. Was so much fun.
My younger brother, he's like literally a year and a half younger than me. I think he went like last year or 2 years ago.
That's awesome.
He's just like, I just have fun doing it. Like I don't actually. I think he takes the like candy like while he's there, and then if like he sees kids, he like gives it to him, or he'll keep the ones that are like his favorite, but he'll like give it to other kids or something. But he just likes. I just hit the desk. Sorry. I just like. He's just like, yeah. I just like doing it for fun. I like going in the costume. It's just like a fun experience. I'm like, sure, why not? I don't know.
That is fun. I mean, I'd be down to trick or treat again. That sounds fun. I think my brother's girlfriend, she went with a bunch of, I think, her cousins or something. They were younger, and she's like shorter, and she just went. She's like, yeah, I'm trick or treating as well.
That's so good.
Like
that's so good.
That's pretty sick, I feel like. But
why haven't people? I wonder if somewhere in the country or something like that. So imagine like Halloween was like a holiday or something, like a national holiday, or like if you got off work the next day.
Yeah,
it would be so fun if you like all the kids go trick or treating. And then, like, past midnight, all the adults go trick-or-treating. Like, that'd be so funny to me. Like,
that would be cool. I think people probably worried about safety stuff with that, would be my guess.
Oh, yeah, true.
Because people are lame.
Yeah.
But that'd be sick, I feel like. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, the pure version of it would be really fun, for sure. But
yeah. That'd be so much fun. But do you have any funny, like, trick-or-treating stories, or no?
Okay, I don't... My most vivid memory is feels bad, dude. It's like one of those memories that like makes me cringe when I think about it.
No,
I hate it. It's because I was the kid who like my friend was like, yeah, let's just take this whole bucket. You know, it's like the buckets. I felt so bad, man. I felt so bad instantly after.
I feel like everybody's at least done that once. I'm pretty sure I did it one time as well.
You got like if they leave the bucket out and it says take one, they're like take one. I'm gonna take two at first, and then there's always someone who just takes the whole bucket. I definitely did do it once, and then like. I remember feeling so bad because I don't know if it was like the mom or whatever, but she was like watching from like the window upstairs. She opened the window and yelled at us as we took the bucket. And I was just an idiot kid, and we just bolted. We didn't give it back. We just bolted.
That's awesome.
We were so dumb, man. Just so dumb.
Oh, my mom said the cornfield memory. Okay. I mean, which cornfield memory there's two cornfield memories. The one that I'm remembering, I don't even know if I guess he probably wouldn't care. My friend Eric, there's a cornfield. There used to be two neighborhoods, and there was a cornfield in the middle of these two neighborhoods, and it was Halloween, and we trick-or-treated at this one neighborhood that my friend lives at. My other friend lived at the other neighborhood that was on the other side of the cornfield, and we went trick-or-treating, and trick-or-treating ends at like a certain time. Mm-hmm. And like sometimes we'd walk through the cornfield to get to the other person's house. Mm-hmm. And I remember we trick-or-treated that night, and Eric's mom was like very strict, and she's like you have to get him back, or he has to be back at this time. And like we all forgot, and we walked through the cornfield, and then she like drove to my one friend's house and was like, where's Eric? They're like, oh, they went through the cornfield, and she's literally driving up and down the road where the cornfield's at, trying to look for us. Eric, we get out of the cornfield. Eric looks at his phone. This was like, we were like in 6th or 7th grade. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh my God, my mom called me like 50 times. It was so funny. Oh man, that was a great, that was trick-or-treating with all my friends back then was such a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, just going from house to house. And then I remember the strat. I learned the strat the first year, the pillowcase strat. And I was like, that just like opened up.
Oh, to like have more candy or something?
Instead of taking like, I would use like the orange bucket when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like the little pumpkin bucket, you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
And then as I got older, everybody's like, why are you not using a pillowcase? I'm like, a pillowcase? Why would I use that? And they're like, it can hold a lot of candy. And I'm like, oh, that is, I was like, this is a new world right now.
Dude, I remember it was the same year. It was the first year that my parents let me go, like, with just my group of friends. I was probably in like, I don't know, 4th grade, 5th grade, something like that. I remember I also did the pillowcase, and we actually went crazy that year because we lived in like, there were like 2 really big neighborhoods where I grew up.
Yeah.
So we literally did one neighborhood, and then we actually mapped out the strat. We did one neighborhood and we like looped around it, and then we stopped at our like friend's house that was closest to the other one. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know if it was my dad or what, but someone picked us up and then took us to the other neighborhood. And I remember I had the pillowcase, and it literally, I had to like throw it over my shoulder to carry it. It was so heavy, but
that's awesome.
Those memories are so cool because like you said, like trick-or-treating with your friends, and also like it kind of does suck. Like I forget about the safety thing all the time, but like it is just so fun to feel like you're just like walking around at night as like a little kid, and it's just like I don't know. It's just awesome.
It's crazy. Like, it's so different trick-or-treating, I feel like, now compared to, like, when we were younger. I feel like, okay, this is a hot take. I feel like the internet ruins so many, like, things because I feel like people are, like, a lot more scared because of the internet.
There's not as much of, like, a sense of community, I think, as much.
Yeah, like, I feel like there's so much information out now. Like, people were just kind of, like not... I'm trying to think of, like, a good word. Like just what's the word I want to use? Are
you saying people are like paranoid or cautious?
Like they were like oh dude, what's that word? If I hear it, I'm so dumb I can't think of it. It's like they were like so not pure. What's like another word for it? Like
not peer pressure?
No, like
oh, pure, like
pure, like
innocent.
Yeah, people were so innocent. Like I think that's a good enough word. But people were so innocent back then. Like so naive. That's the word I wanted to use. Yeah. Or naive and innocent. Like in a good way. Like kind of like people weren't worried about. Like you hear about all these horror stories that happen to people. Yeah. And it like ruins a lot of stuff for a bunch of people, which sucks so much. Because like the memories I have trick-or-treating when I was younger was so sick. Like we'd go out 5 p.m. We'd literally trick-or-treat for like 5-6 hours and then be done and have like a huge pillowcase of candy. Nowadays, like you only get like I think 2 hours of trick-or-treating or something that are allowed.
Yeah, I remember the first year I really experienced it was when I moved here. In our neighborhood, like they started trick-or-treating. I think school got out at like 3 or 4 or something. And kids were trick-or-treating at 5. They did like a neighborhood like parade to trick-or-treat. All the kids went to every house at the same time. And it was from like 5 to 5:30 and they were done. And
that's
all
it?
The parents were with them. Yes.
Wait, when was this?
This was like 2019. It was like literally the first year we moved down here. And I remember being like, I'd be so bummed out if I was a kid. Like that's so lame. Like it's not even dark outside. Like you're not like roaming around. Like the crazy thing is that's literally in a gated neighborhood as well. It was literally a gated neighborhood down here. I remember being so sad because I remember thinking like, dude, if I lived around here, like around us, there's a lot of like apartment complexes or like
a bunch of huge neighborhoods.
Yeah. I just been thinking like, dude, I would clean up if I was a kid. I remember Cherry always talks about it. There was a year. Oh no, it was Vote actually. There was a year, I think like one of the first years that he lived here as well. He wanted to go buy candy for the kids who went trick or treating. He was like gonna hand it out, and he was like, oh, this will like be fun, like, you know, whatever. And he bought like a bunch of candy and he like decorated and he like laid it out, and then just no one came, and he was so sad. I'm just like, man,
that's so sad.
Yeah, it sucks. Like,
it's funny. I got candy literally every year that I've been here, just in case if we have trick or treaters. Mm-hmm. In the apartments, we never got any that I lived in, and then in the townhouse that I was in, didn't get any. Yep. Last year, I wasn't here. This is a funny story as well. We got trick or treaters, and Sot. Okay, Sot probably might get mad at me for telling the story, but I'm telling it anyways because it's so funny. But Sot, this was last year. Sot opens the door. I wasn't there. Paul was laughing. Paul was telling me the story. So Paul was like, "No, don't open the door. Don't open the door." Sot opens the door. There's kids, and they're like trick or treat. He's like, "We don't have any candy." And they felt so bad.
Dude, they had to be so sad.
They were so bummed out.
Oh
my! Paul was like, "Don't open the door! Don't open the door!" It was
you gotta give him like $1 bill or something. You gotta find something.
Paul's sitting because it's funny where Paul sits. He sits like close to the front door, and Sat was upstairs usually, and I think he just came down. He heard the doorbell ring, so he's like, "Oh, I'll open the door, see who that is." And then Paul's like, "No." He's just sitting in the corner. "No, don't do it. Don't do it."
The picture of Paul in my head just screaming like a movie force, like, "No!" You know, like, it's so good.
And the funniest thing, I think he opened the door like twice as well and said, "We don't have candy."
Doing it a second time is crazy. If he actually did it a second time, that's crazy.
I don't know for sure. I wasn't there, so I'm sorry, Sap, but that's such a funny story. I had to share it. It was so great,
dude. I stopped. I've been in the same apartment complex now. This is the 3rd year.
Yeah.
after the first year, so the last 2 years, I guess, I just haven't gotten candy because there's no one's trick or treat. I've just thinking, dude, there must be like, I don't know if it's a safety thing or what, but like, there's definitely kids who live in my apartment complex. So
That's what I thought too when I lived in an
I'm
apartment.
like, dude,
I see them all the time.
There's like 1,000 apartment units here. Like I'd have 2 pillowcases. Like I'm going crazy.
You could literally like do like I could imagine like you just do like a jump kick, hit both doors and knock on them. One pillowcase in each hand.
That's too good. Did you read what Mega Sea Monkey put in chat a bit ago? By the way, that's a good story. Mega Sea Monkey types in chat. My mom punched a little kid dressed as the Grim Reaper at a haunted trail / haunted house when I was little. He scared her and she socked him in the face. That is a really good story.
That is really
I'd
funny.
feel so bad as both sides, but that's too funny.
That is like definitely a cringe moment that guy's mom, whenever she thinks of it, she's like, why did I do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, also, J-Mac had said, definitely, if you guys have funny Halloween stories, type them in the chat. I'd love to hear them. But J-Mac said he'd have his parents trick-or-treat with us, and they'd pull a wagon or a cooler full of beer down. That I could definitely see if I had like a kid or whatever. It would definitely be like fun, but I also think like, listen, no offense. When kids get to like middle school, I can't stand like middle school kids. I can't do it. I don't know why. There's something in my brain. They just piss me off. You know why? It's when they get to the age when they start like being smartasses, for lack of a better word. I just can't do it. But up until that point, that'd be a lot of fun. No, apartments are OP. They're so OP.
They're crazy.
They're
good.
so good for.
I've never actually. Have you ever trick-or-treated at an apartment complex before, or no? When you were younger, I never did.
No, there were a lot of like, where I lived was like pretty spread out, so I don't know if there were a ton of apartment complexes. There were a lot of like townhomes and stuff.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I remember like trick-or-treating there like all the time. It'd be like the closest thing.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, trick-or-treating's always been good. And have you ever gone to any haunted houses like in the recent years? Like, have you
I haven't
done that?
actually, no.
I've done a couple. I remember one time my friends were like, I bet my friends, I'm like, I will not get scared. Watch this entire
How long did that last?
The very first step I took in,
Yeah.
someone who wasn't even working at the haunted house scared me.
Oh.
He came around the corner and he's like, "Wah." I jumped and got scared. It was so funny. And everybody's like, you lost. But some of those are really cool. I feel like people put a lot of effort into those.
I was going to say the effort people put into them is so crazy.
There was a really good one where I used like back at home where I used to live. I went one time with a couple of my friends. Like this was either the senior high school or like a year after I graduated. We went and it was like a really like thought out, really cool haunted house. And those things are cool. Mm-hmm. But I haven't gone since. And that was the time where I was like, I won't get scared. And then it happened right away. The person I went with was so scared, or like a couple of the people got so scared. It was so funny.
Dude, horror movies, like jump scares, like I'm so bad with them. Like anything horror themed, like I'm just such a wimp with it. I just can't do it. Like haunted houses are fun, but there's something about like gory things, like gory scenes, even if it's fake, it just like it makes me cringe.
I don't like gory scenes either. My mom hates gory scenes so much. It's funny. But yeah, I don't like them that much as well. I agree. That's what she said.
That's awesome.
She hates any movie with. I'm like, it's not real though. And she's like, it's still so bad.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah. We had a dentist in our neighborhood, so he'd pass out apples to kids instead of candy.
Oh, dude, that's the opposite of like what someone said, like having the cool house that gives like full size candy bars. Did you have anything? Okay. Do you remember something like that where it was either a cool house or it was like really lame?
Yeah, so I went trick-or-treating one year with my friend Christian. What happened to him, his house flooded when he was, I forget, I think we were like 7th, 8th grade. I can't remember what year. So he had to move like 2 cities over from where we lived. Mm-hmm. And he'd still drive to school. He'd have to get driven to school every day and stuff. But there was a house that they like let him stay at it was like kind of far away, and it was by a bunch of really wealthy people live there. I think a couple of Bears players even like live there as well.
Yeah.
And I remember he invited everybody to go trick-or-treating there because he went there the year before, because I think it took like 2 years for his house to get repaired. So the first Halloween he was there, he went trick-or-treating. He's like, this is like the craziest thing ever. Like they give up full-size candy bars at every single house. He's like, this is insane. So he invited like all of us to go like the next year, because we'd usually go trick-or-treating in this one neighborhood that had a ton of houses. It was really good for where we lived. And that was like the spot that we went to the majority of the years, even like later down the line. Like I remember freshman year in high school, we still went to that neighborhood. That was like the spot. But that year we're like, okay, it's time. We'll all go there. So we all went to his house and we trick-or-treated there, and it was insane. Almost every house gave out like big candy bars, so like sick. King size, full size candy bars. It was insane.
Love that. Dude, I loved getting like the king size like Reese's pouches that had like 4 cups in it. Oh my god, that was just my like dream. If I got that at a house, I remember there would be like a couple houses in my neighborhood that had full size candy bars, which was definitely sick. The only bad memory I have, and maybe some people like this, do you know like the popcorn balls? Like,
yes,
I hate those. I
actually liked those when I was younger.
I cannot stand the popcorn balls.
I actually liked those.
So anytime I got a popcorn ball, I was pissed. I was so mad when I was a kid. And I got the popcorn balls. Okay, we should do that too. I'm curious for chat as well. What are your, like, do you have like a top 3, top 5 like favorite Halloween like treats, candies, whatever?
Okay, definitely Reese's is up there for me.
Yeah. After
that, it really depends on like on what I'm in the mood for. Like Snickers could really be good sometimes. Airheads could be really good for me sometimes too. Basically like a crunch bar of some type as well. Dude. Like just the texture. Like if I'm in the mood for that, like that's really good. Kit Kats every once in a while just are so good. Like number 1 for me, definitely Reese's. After that, like it's what I'm ever in the mood for more, I feel like, is where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm like number 1 Reese's. I haven't changed that much either, like from being an adult as well. Like if I were to have it would be the same thing. It'd be like number 1 would be Reese's. Number 2 would be like, I remember like in Twix a lot. It was like Twix, then Crunch, then Kit Kat, and then 5 was like whatever. Like not popcorn ball. Not popcorn ball for me.
Yeah. Oswald said, or OG, not Oswald, Osa, yeah, he said Tootsie Rolls are the worst possible thing to get. I disliked getting Tootsie Rolls 100%, but they were okay. Like, they weren't the worst thing I've ever had. But I just, if I would spam get Tootsie Rolls over and over again from every house, I would not be happy. But if I got a couple, I'd be like, okay, they're not that bad.
Yeah, okay. The Tootsie Roll thing is so funny because I remember having this discussion with Leah, my girlfriend, like maybe it was like the first like year we were together and like Halloween came up. We had like talked about this.
Yeah.
For some reason, well, not for some reason, Tootsie Rolls are so nostalgic to me because one of my, like, I guess technically my great grandma, they used to call her Grandma Tootsie, and I'm like, why? I'm like, she would just give the kids a Tootsie Roll, like whenever we had like a get together, like she just had like a big like jar full of them. So I just remember.
Were they the big Tootsie Rolls or the small ones?
No, the small ones. And I remember being like a 4 or 5 year old kid, and I'd be like, "Hey, Grandma," and the whole time, like, "Can I get my candy now?" Like the whole time.
That's awesome.
But yeah, like they're nostalgic to me because of that. But like objectively, they're not the greatest for sure.
That's awesome. I love Tootsie Rolls though, even the regular ones. I mean, some people like them. I actually don't hate.
I don't hate
Tootsie
them,
Rolls.
but I don't hate them, but like if you gave me an option,
ooh, Swedish Fish are awesome.
Swedish Fish are so good.
I didn't get those very often when I trick or treated. I think
didn't either.
The older I got, like the more I started getting them. I think.
I think
when
the
I was
only
closer to high school,
type of things I remember are gummy bears and dots. I think those were the only 2 I really remember. Actually, Sour Patch Kids. I remember some people would have Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, I didn't get those, like Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. I don't think I got till like I was older. I think a lot of people started getting those more and more.
Yeah,
but Sour Patch Kids are so good. That actually might be number 2 for me.
Sour Patch Kids?
Sour Patch.
Yeah,
I forgot about them. Like Reese's and Sour Patch, and then it's like whatever I'm in the mood for after that.
Okay. Shark in the Harbor said this. seasonal Reese's are OP compared to the regular ones, so much more peanut butter. That is actually a real thing. Have you like had like, you know, they have like Easter eggs, like pumpkins, whatever. Those, okay.
They are better, yeah.
Yeah, you know who?
It's real for sure.
I assume you know who like Asmongold is,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So for people who don't know, Asmongold is like a big WoW streamer. I remember watching him like way back in the day, like years and years ago. And he literally has a full like in-depth video series where he goes through like his candy meta.
Yeah.
And what he literally does is he waits for every single seasonal Reese's. And then, like,
he buys.
Let's say it's Halloween. Yeah. He, like, 2 weeks after, when they're all on sale, he buys, like, all of it. And he just keeps them. And that's just his Reese's stash forever. And I'm like, how have I never thought of, like,
he's actually a genius. Because they are better.
Smart.
They are 100% better. Like, I think I noticed this the first time, like, Easter, like, probably, like, 15 years ago, 16 years ago. I remember I had the Reese's eggs from Easter.
Yeah.
Are just so good.
They're so good.
And I was like, wow, these are way better than normal Reese's. Because, I don't know. Even when I was younger, honestly, like when the Easter Bunny used to come, dude, that was the best. Did you ever? Okay.
That, yeah.
Did you ever leave stuff out for the Easter Bunny or no?
No, I don't think so.
You never left carrots
actually,
or like celery when you were younger?
No, that wasn't a tradition. I've actually never heard of that.
You've never heard? That's what we used to do when I was younger.
That's cool.
Dude, I can't wait to do that stuff. If I ever have kids, that'd be so funny.
Yeah.
To leave like carrots and you just have to bite half of it and leave it. I can't believe my mom would do stuff like that or my dad or whoever did it.
That's cool.
So funny.
I think the only thing I remember about Easter is we would always dye eggs, I think.
Yeah.
I remember doing that. That's fun too.
You had to eat it? Nice. That's so funny.
That's too good.
Oh.
Dude, Easter is kind of like did you guys get like the Easter baskets or whatever? It'd have like a chocolate bunny or something like that.
Yeah. No, that'd be the Easter Bunny come. Like it'd be like Santa Claus. We'd have the Easter Bunny come, and then we'd have to leave them out like carrots or something, and then we'd get like Easter baskets like the next day.
Yeah, I love that so much because I remember. Did you guys have to like? I don't know if this is like the normal like Easter thing, but you like find your basket or whatever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, okay. So maybe this. I don't know if this is like my family or it's something, but like. What my parents like to do is they would like hide our Easter basket like somewhere in the house.
Yeah.
So it would be like as fun as Christmas morning, honestly. Like we would wake up and then we would have to go find it somewhere in the house, and then you'd like get your basket or whatever, and then you'd like have the candy and stuff. The feeling of that honestly was like if like trick-or-treating is like up here, it's like Christmas morning and then like they're Christmas morning and Easter, they were so fun to me because of that. Maybe holidays are actually just OP.
Holidays were always fun. I feel like the traditions of holidays is what makes them fun for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there any other funny like Halloween traditions you had that you or your friends or like you or your family would do?
I don't think so, really. I do remember like.
I just thought of something.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Did you ever trick or treat and then have like a mask and then you trick or treat through the whole neighborhood? I think in the meta, and then you take your mask off.
Actually, yes.
And then you do the whole neighborhood again. Did you ever do that when you were?
Yes, because I remember one year I went as Darth Vader because I was saying I did Star Wars. I went as Darth Vader and I took the helmet off and I took the cape off and I'm like, new me. You do it again.
Round 2.
But I think I didn't. I think I only did it for the good houses. Like if they had full size candy bars, that I do remember that now.
That's awesome, dude. That was actually OP. That was the strat.
You're actually min-maxing Halloween.
Dude, imagine you drive. Okay, there was actual people I remember that would min-max Halloween. Like they'd have their parents drive them. They'd get out of the car.
Yes.
Like I remember I saw these people.
I did that one year.
You did that?
Yes,
That's OP. Like you'd get driven around, you run up to a house, go back to the car, drive next house, boom.
Yes.
Boom. Boom. Imagine you're doing that, and then you turn around, you change costumes, full mask, boom, turn around, boom, 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 boom. And you're just hitting every house over and over again, and you're just going boom, 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 just getting all the candy, pillow sack after pillowcase, pillowcase after pillowcase. Oh my God.
I remember my dad did that, and that was specifically the last year before he let us trick or treat alone. And I think like part of it was like, yeah, you guys are old enough, you can do it alone, but also like I'm not driving you again. it was definitely like that. We just went all over the place.
That's awesome. We're both reading chat.
Yeah. Sorry, should have said. Wait, space for a candy freezer or fridge? Wait, did you do that?
Wait, which one are you reading?
Mr. Inside Out Sock said, who had space for a candy freezer or a fridge just to store them and keep them fresh? I didn't do that because I remember I would just keep them all in the pillowcase or something until
that's what I would do too.
Until the candy was gone or it was just like, oh, I was tired of it.
You know, Paul does this, is he puts his candy in the refrigerator all the time. I never did that when I was younger.
Wait, there is one thing I like to do. Okay, frozen, like not in the fridge, but like the actual freezer. Like frozen, like Snickers or Milky Ways or something like that. Those actually go so hard. Frozen Snickers specifically are so good. Cold Reese's goes insane. I have done that actually. Leah got me into that. She would like put her Reese's in the fridge, and those are really good for sure.
Wait, Leaf Warrior said I was the oldest child, so my dad would have me be the Easter Bunny sidekick and I'll stuff out. That's awesome.
That's good.
Oh my god. Wait, Leaf, have you done anything fun for like Easter or anything for your kids or no?
Dude, I didn't even think about it keeping it fresh, like putting stuff in the refrigerator. You know?
Yeah, I never did that when I was younger.
I think I'm a refrigerator noob because I remember my parents also, like, they got to the point where they're like, yeah, we're just going to start putting, like, you know, if, like, you're through, like, half a loaf of bread. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll put the bread in the refrigerator or something. And I was like, that's so weird. Why are you keeping your bread cold? And, like, yeah, I'm a fridge noob.
Fridge more, eat more, bros. Fridge is actually OP.
One Smite god or goddess to help you min-max your pile. Who are you picking? Like, Silly Goose,
to help trick or treat?
Yeah, you're saying to help trick or treat.
That's a good...
Silly Goose said Horus. What do you think? I'd pick Janice, dude. I'm flying around. Actually, maybe Janice sucks because you have to go through the house. It doesn't actually help you go.
Yeah, people would be like, what are you doing in my backyard? That's a good question. It has to be maybe someone with a global...
Mercury?
Mercury would be good. You can alt to one house, then dash. Is there anybody that can jump?
The Morgan farm's the best house on the block. You just transform into a different person.
Oh, that's OP!
And Billy got it. That is actually broken.
Dude, that is actually the best one, and there's nothing... That is actually the best.
That is OP,
Oh
man.
my god.
That is OP.
You Morgan, you just keep transforming into different costumes over and over again, or different people, just straight up.
Dude, okay, speaking of the costume thing, Sam for Soccer does this. I do like the movement of, instead of calling them skins in Smite, he just calls them, like, if he sees something in game, he's like, oh, I really like that Morgan costume. And I actually do like that a lot.
That is awesome.
Costume's is a fun word. I love it.
That is a good word. She get 4 clones. With her clones, she gets like 4 per house.
Oh, okay. No way the clone counts too. That's actually OP.
That would be super broken. Imagine transforming into someone and getting a house before they do.
Oh, yeah. So you're actually just an early game character, huh? Apollo to fly all the candy back home. Oh, wait. Nobody ever remembers this character. Chunga's got to be broken. Chunga's just sending the bunny around. Yeah, you're sending the bunny around, dude.
That's OP. You just have 2 people doing... You have someone else to do the job.
Life Warrior was right there with me. Yes. Oh, Chunga's got to be OP for it.
Nuwa, the 4... You just send out your clay minions to get you candy.
Arachne spiders. You set up your spiders. They open the door. You snatch all the candy.
You go to... You just... Yeah, that's what you do. You web each house. You go... And then
there you go.
Every time they open the door, more candy.
Sylvanas grab. Take it all.
Oh my god.
Okay, which god or goddess would be the most likely one to just take the whole bucket? It's got to be Loki.
Baba, she's got a house for a bucket. That's funny.
Oh, Baba's actually... Wait, no, Baba is the worst. Baba's the worst because everyone's going to try to trick-or-treat you. While your house is walking around, they're all going to try to trick-or-treat your house. Oh, yeah,
they're going to try to pull out all the candy.
Yeah, they're taking your candy from your house.
Oh, my God.
No, Baba's actually infinite loss hack. Sean has the biggest pillow sack. That's actually true.
Honor impaled and then take bucket. You're just honoring. You're just on the street. You see a kid with a huge pillowcase. You impale him into the wall, and you're like, "Okay, that's my bucket now."
You can't say that. I don't think you're allowed to say that. Oh my god, that's good.
Oh man,
dude. Do you think anyone's actually ever done that? They just min-max it. They like change costumes in a car. They're like speed running Halloween. No way, man. Speed running trick or treating. I mean,
that is like the way to min max it though.
It really is.
We just crack the meta. Like you just go to the best neighborhood possible that you know in the area that has the best candy.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone with a car, and you literally just hit every house, boom, 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 really fast with the car, and then you change costumes in the car, and then you go round 2, then you go round 3, then you go round 4, and then it's just GG.
Eventually, the parents got to be looking at what car is coming up. Look at the license plate on that thing.
Oh my god.
But yeah, if there's anything else chat has, do you have much? I don't really have. I'm just hanging out, so
yeah.
And up to you guys if you guys have anything you want to talk about, any other Halloween memories, any stuff like that. Also, shout outs to well, you guys don't really know Lewis, but shout outs to Lewis in production. He made the Halloween graphic for us.
Lewis has made all the graphics for us. So everything that you see me post on Twitter or like just this here as well, like he's made all that. It's
yeah,
really
Lewis
cool.
goes off.
Race car Apollo costume be OP.
Wait, Lewis, that's you in chat? I didn't even, did you know that was Lewis's Twitch?
Where?
I think, wait, you're saying ramen, right?
Oh, really? That's sick.
That's why, unless the timing was just a coincidence, yeah.
Yo,
Yeah, I had no idea. That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's sick.
Have y'all talked about haunted housing yet? Yeah, we did a little bit. Dude, I know why I don't have as many memories of haunted houses because I was scared of them.
You could still go to a haunted house now.
I know. I bet you, honestly, adult haunted houses are probably really fun. I should go to one.
They're cool, but if you don't like getting jump scared, you might not like it.
Yeah, jump scare.
That's what I feel like people just try to jump scare you.
I don't like getting jump scared, but I like laughing at other people get jump scared. So if I have like Leah go in front of me, I'll just laugh at her the whole time. That'll be good.
That'll actually be so funny. Oh my god. Okay, this has nothing to do with Halloween or trick or treating, but so I grew up with 2 brothers, and my cousin also lived with us for a while when I grew up, and we got into this meta of no matter where someone was, if they walk somewhere, we'd hide behind the corner and try to jump scare them. So that we literally had a meta where we would do that to each other all the time without fail. Like it'd be like the first thing you think, like, oh, I'm gonna get him so good right here. So people used to, like, there's tactics that we used to like create to like I remember it got so bad at the end, you'd see someone walk around the corner and they kick their leg around the side of the corner.
Oh, no,
and they just try to like get them out. It'd be so funny. You'd be sitting downstairs like on the couch and someone would walk downstairs. There's like 2 walls you could see that you'd see their leg come around the corner twice and they're like, okay, I'm good. It was the funniest thing ever. But jump scaring, did you ever jump scare your brother?
I didn't jump scare I remember jump scaring my mom more than my brothers by far, and she hated it, which that's the problem. You're going to keep doing it. And then I remember we had a basement when I was growing up, and we had like in the basement was where we kept like a couple of like we had like older gaming consoles. So it was like a GameCube and stuff that we would like still go play and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember it was down in the basement, and the basement was like, it might have been like, it might as well have been like soundproof or whatever, like noise. It's a noise canceling basement. And I remember you could not hear anyone walk down into the basement, and like the way the room was like you couldn't hear anything, and you could only see like one like little narrow part of the hallway.
Yeah.
So I remember like if my younger brother was down there playing the GameCube, I would just wait for him and then just like jump scare the heck out of him. I definitely did like doing that, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I got Woonie or Baskin so good this year.
Awesome.
I don't do it all the time, but I had to, like, the way our house is set up, he's in the basement, and it's so free. It's like the only spot in the house. Like, it's unlucky for him because I could probably get him again if I wanted to, but I won't do it because I got him good. I got him so good. But the way you come up is like, there's like 2 sides, so you can jump scare him on either side, and then also you can't really hear anything like you said, like if you're coming up from the basement. And I just got him, so it was so funny. But
I love that.
Have you jump scared any of your teammates ever on any of your team house teams?
Okay, no, but did you guys, when you were a kid, did you ever play like hide and seek in the dark?
Yeah.
Dude, that's my favorite. Those are some of my favorite memories as a kid. I remember we would play that after trick-or-treating as well. The first year we lived here on like our like original team rival or whatever, that was like me and Twig and Fine OK and Panicat. We all played hide and seek in the dark in that like team house, and that was so fun because we had like there's like a
that is sick. You guys did that?
Yeah,
that is so sick.
It was so fun. There was we did it, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if the neighbors got mad at us, but we did it at like 2 a.m. too. Like it was late. And
so you guys did it. So you guys used the house and the outside?
We used the house. Well, whoever was like searching would sit outside for like 2 minutes while everyone hid. And then we would like text them and be like, okay, you can come in. Is how we did it. But I remember there was.
What was your biggest game as well?
Like how many people?
Yeah, was it usually like 5-6 people playing, or was there more?
So it was the whole team minus Arkle, I think. So that was 4 of us, and then it was Slaney played. I don't remember. I think Faye was there or not. I know Bria was there, Alex's girlfriend or Finer's girlfriend.
So you guys had like 8-9 people or something.
Yeah, it must have been like 8+, something like that. It was a good amount of people, and I remember we played, and there's like a GIF of me for people who have been around for a while where I like come out of this like trap door or whatever. So it was an attic in that team house, and there was like a little like, I don't know what they call those, but it's like a small door.
Yeah.
That's almost like a doggy door, and you could like crawl through it, and then there was like a closet in there, and it was OP for that because I remember hiding in there, and someone tried to find me, and they didn't find me originally. Like I like hid in a corner in it. And then once they like gave up or whatever, and I like won, I just purposely didn't say anything. I wanted people to search for me again, and then I jump scared. I think it was Max or Panicat. I think I jump scared the heck out of him then, but that's the only time I'll do it. Is like,
oh my god, that's so funny.
I love that game.
That sounds so sick.
Yeah.
OG said in chat, have you guys talked about trading candy with your friends? I definitely did that. Everybody would just try to trade for Reese's, I feel like, though. Yeah. So it just ended up as a lose-lose for everybody.
Dude, you know what? I think that's why I remember not eating that many like Snickers when I was a kid. And I think that was my trade bait candy. Because I think everybody loved Snickers, and it was like, I mean, we went through the tier list. Like for me, it was like 4th or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I'm trading 4th for 2nd or 3rd. So like
that's easy.
Yeah, for me that's easy. I'm coming out ahead on that. Snickers are really good though.
Homie Faye would be OP just because he's so small.
Oh, come on.
What's up, DJ?
Dude, you know what? We were talking about League earlier. Do you ever watch or do you ever read the League chat?
Oh my god, dude.
I love
it. It is crazy.
Dude, if you read it enough.
It is so toxic.
It's insanely toxic, but every now and then I'll see Homie type in there.
That is awesome.
It. He always does something
Dude,
funny.
I always see Homie in the League chat, and then every once in a while he shows up in Smite game chat as well. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in school and stuff. I don't know I don't know if he's graduated now or what, but yeah, he is so funny. He's an all-time Twitch chatter for me. I love that.
Dude, okay, speaking of games, did you ever play Ghosts in the Graveyard when you were younger? It's basically
that sounds so familiar, but I don't remember.
It's basically just like it's like what's the other? It's the same game, but we called it Ghosts in the Graveyard. It's like where it's hide and seek outside. You have to play when it's pitch black, and my friend had a sick house to play it at. And you'd have to get back to the home base.
Yes. Okay. We didn't call it that, but yes. Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
I forget what we called it.
But we called it Ghost in the Graveyard. I don't know if that's what. There might be a different game called Ghost in the Graveyard, but that's what me and my friends called it. And there was like 10 to 12 of us playing, and those were some of the best nights. Like I was so bad at being the person because I was a chunk when I was younger, and I could not catch anybody. So I'd always be like, someone's got to be on my team if I'm it, because I'm never going to get anybody out. Because, like, well, the rules would be, like, you'd make it back to base, and then you would have to, whoever made it back, it would reset, and then like we'd shrink the area, kind of like Fortnite, I guess.
Oh my god, you guys were actually playing Fortnite before.
Yeah, we were actually playing Fortnite before. And like we keep shrinking the area down until the end. And that was so much fun. That was like probably my favorite thing to play. And we definitely always played around Halloween as well, just because like the weather was really good for it, because it was not too hot, not too cold. And
I remember playing a lot of games like that in the summer, especially like when people were off school. It'd be like summer, and then like you said, like around Halloween and stuff.
Nice.
It's hard in the summer because it's sun's up for so long.
Yeah.
Dude, do you think, this is a sad thought, but do you think the internet ruined kids playing those type of games? I really hope it didn't.
I think people still probably play those games for sure. Maybe not as much.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
It's probably just
so fun.
I feel like it also has to do with the area you grow up in as well.
True.
Like if you live in the city, you probably don't experience those games as much. Maybe you do. I have no idea. I never.
They probably
have
city, different things as well.
But like that's something that you probably wouldn't experience. Like if you live more in like the middle of nowhere, like where I lived, I guess you probably end up playing more games like that than you would otherwise if you lived like in a high populated area.
For sure.
Or like not even a high populated area, just like a city, more city like area. But yeah, I'm sure it definitely affects it a little bit. Did it ever snow during Halloween? I think it did one time. I think, okay, I've definitely, because I live in the Midwest, like in Illinois, and it was either really, really cold or it was really nice out for Halloween. Like it was like, I remember having a Halloween where it was like 70 and that was like the best thing ever.
Did you ever have one when it rained?
Yes.
Dude, we had one when it rained, and then I think we did it the next night or something, but that was the biggest vibe kill ever.
Yeah, I think I do remember it snowing one time. Maybe it wasn't like a hard snow where it like sticks to the ground, but it was like just frosting, I think.
That sounds really fun, actually. Like a snowy high. Dude, that would be like, to me, that's kind of scary too. Like an ominous, like nighttime, like snowy, like thing. That'd be cool.
The wind howling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Dude, the place I lived at. Okay, do you believe in haunted things or no? Or like ghosts?
I think so. Like it depends on the story, but I guess overall, yeah.
I kind of believe in it too, but like it's hard to.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have a pretty open mind, I will say. So I could believe it possibly, but it's definitely hard to. But the place I lived at 2 years ago, when the first Titans team house we were at, during like I guess when it got colder, like around this time, like where my room was, I don't know if it was how the townhouse was built or whatever, but the wind would sound like it was howling when it was super windy out. And it always creeped me out at night. I knew it was just the wind, but it was like
I do hate that
super howling, crazy like screeching wind noises. But have you ever had any like haunted stories like that you've had growing up or like anywhere like that?
Okay, there was one time I remember. So the house I grew up in, it had like a basement, and out the basement like back door. Yeah. I remember it was like the basement back door was right below like my bedroom, I guess. Okay. And I remember I woke up one night and I like heard noises outside. I was like a little kid. I was like, oh, someone like robbing the house or something like that. And I remember like being still in bed, and I felt like my brain was convinced I heard people like tapping on the window or come up the wall. And I remember like going into my parents' bedroom, and I think at one point there was like a louder noise. I remember sprinting into my parents. I sprinted down the hall into my parents' bedroom. I remember waking my dad up and be like, Dad, there's someone outside. There's someone outside. And he was like, yeah, idiot, it's your brother. He's in the basement. And my brother was in high school, and he had like gone, it was like his freshman year, and his like curfew was later or whatever, I guess. And he had like put his computer in the basement, and he was just playing games or whatever. And he was making so much noise. I don't know what the heck he was doing.
That's funny.
But yeah, I remember that. I also there was, dude, apparently the first Rival House was a banger. I remember I was in the attic, but it was like there wasn't a closed door in the attic, so it was like kind of like this open, like almost like a balcony thing. It was like a staircase. And I remember at one point after the season, it was only me in the house, and I remember I could not sleep because the house had so many like small noises. It'd be like you said, like the wind howling, or like there'd be the small creaks or whatever. That stuff still freaks me out. I hate being alone in like a big house. I hate it. I hate like hearing all the little like creaks and stuff. I can't sleep when that type of stuff happens.
Okay, I remember I told myself I wanted to talk about this today. I'm glad I don't know if DJ's still here, but him coming into chat actually reminded me of what I wanted to talk about. So I have a history of sleep talking
Really?
and sleepwalking.
Really?
Yes, and it only usually happens if I am sleeping. Okay, the sleep talking, I'm sure I do it all the time, for sure. I actually don't know. But the sleepwalking only occurs if I'm in a new place that I haven't slept in before.
Interesting.
And there's been, especially the earlier lands, like back on the Eager teams, there was a lot of sleepwalking things that happened.
That's so good.
The best thing is that no one, I feel so bad about this even till today. No one told Marvels that I slept walk at all or whatever. So, at the hotel we used to stay at, the room layout was basically a solo bedroom. There was a middle area with like a kitchen space and like a living space area, and then there was another room with like 2 beds, and the living space area was also a pull-out couch so someone could sleep there as well. And Marvels was our coach at the time, and this was like, I can't remember if it was group stages season 3 or if it was actually super regionals or whatever, but this, I think it was group stages, because I think Marvels came for both. And this was the first time that he's ever came to a LAN, and I'm in the solo bedroom. He's in the living space area on the pull-out bed, and apparently I sleepwalk. I don't remember any of this, by the way. Like, this is when I sleepwalk, it's always crazy to hear like what people tell me. Like,
do you ever wake up when you're walking? You always wake up like when you're back in bed.
I never remember any of it. Like whenever I do it.
So the next morning you're just in bed like normal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So apparently, if I tell the story wrong, Marvels might be able to tell it better. So whoever else might be able to tell it better than I did. This is what from people told me. Apparently, I opened the door really fast, and I'm like, "They're on me, or something," and I just start saying that. I'm like, "They're all over me," or something. I said,
"Yo, I'd be so sketched out."
I said they're all over me, and he said I fell down to the ground and I started rolling. I said, "Get them off me," or something. I kept saying, "Ow, ow, get them off me," or something. And
dude, there's no way.
This is what he told me.
Dude, I would never want to sleep in the same room.
Oh my god,
so good.
Oh my god, it was so funny though. The next day when he was telling me, but he was so freaked out, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned that I could sleepwalk." He said he's never been more scared in his life. He kept saying what? He kept trying to talk to me. And it's funny because if people talk to me when I sleepwalk/talk, I will respond to them. Like, my friends told me they have full conversations with me. Like, because we used to have sleepovers all the time. My friends would just always have like full conversations with me while I was sleeping about the dumbest thing.
Crazy.
And like, I would just speak nonsense as well. They said I'd say like, "What's the peanut butter?" or something, and they'd be like, "It's really good," and you'd be like, and then I'd like say like, "No, it's not." And like, they'd have like full conversations with me about like the stupidest things. Oh my god, it is so troll. But that was one of the times, and then another time, I roomed with Bess at one of the lands. I think this was regionals this time, and we were in the double bed, like where you have 2 beds in the same room. We were in that room. And Bess got up to go to the bathroom, and apparently I got up and I followed him, and I was just standing behind him, and I just didn't say anything. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He turns around, he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm just standing there, not saying a single word. And he's like, "What is going on?" And then he said I just walked back to bed and like went to sleep and didn't say anything. I don't remember any of this, by the way. The other thing, okay, Kabam's. I got used to staying at that hotel because we stayed there a lot, so I didn't really sleepwalk much like after that. There might have been a couple other times, and I have no idea if I did it or not. But another funny one, I didn't really sleepwalk, but I did some weird stuff while I was sleeping at the beach house. So I roomed with Sino at the beach house, and I think I mentioned to them like that, "Oh, I might sleepwalk or sleep talk," and he's like, "Oh, that's fine. I don't care." And he said, he came upstairs to go to bed because I went to bed first and he came up later that night to go to sleep. And he said as soon as he got in the room, I sat up in my bed and I just stared at the wall like in front of me. And he said it looked like I was like in The Exorcist or something.
Oh my God,
and he's
dude.
like, and I was just staring like blankly at the wall like in front of me, and I didn't say anything.
Dude, that would actually freak
and then
me
he
out.
was so freaked
That would
out.
freak me
He's like,
out, man.
he's like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. So he like waited. He came back later, and he said I was still sitting up in the bed like that. Like he like waited like 15 minutes, came back, and then eventually I just laid back down and went to bed. But that was like another time I freaked someone out really bad. It was so funny.
That would actually make me so scared. I would not.
Oh
be able to
my
do that.
God.
Do you remember? Like, have you ever done that ever since you were like a kid?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I think so.
Since you were a little. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I remember I've slept walk. I used to share a room with my cousin when I was younger, and I slept walk over him once. I literally just walked across him one time. He said, I don't remember that at all, but I've definitely had multiple conversations with people in my sleep that I do not remember at all. I've definitely have a bunch of funny, but those are like the funniest ones I can remember. And those were like the only Smite ones, I guess. Oh, another good story too. It wasn't a sleepwalking thing, but okay, maybe I'll tell the story. I think he won't care. But it was the same LAN, season 3. There's so many funny things that happened that LAN. We ordered food, like it was after we had our matches, and Divios ended up falling asleep because he was super tired before the food got there. We got like wings from Taco Mac, I think we ordered. And he's in the bed, and he was like laying like Superman position basically with his feet up on top of like the bed frame, like get his feet up high, and he was like Supermaning, like sleeping like that. And DJ walks in, he's like, look at his toes are up and they're swagging. And he made like a toes up swagging song. It was so funny. And then we're all just sitting outside like in the living space area in the hotel room, and we're all eating, and we just hear a big bang bang, like huge like thud in the other room. We all get up and run in, and it's Divios. He fell off the bed. He knocked the dresser that was like in the middle of the bed over into the other bed, and it went like flying off the other bed. He's on the ground. He's just on the ground. He's like, I'm trolling. That's all he said. And he literally gets up and he goes back to bed, and we all thought it was the funniest thing ever. It was so funny. He's literally like, that's all he said.
That's such a Smite player thing to be like, I'm trolling.
He didn't say. I don't know if he was asleep because we asked him about it. He didn't remember it the next morning. So he must have just been so tired, or he like was in his sleep. But he like, it was so funny.
That's too good.
Oh my God, those are probably like, those are some of the best stories I have at like events that have happened for sure. And then the one that we told, if you want to go check out the Weekend podcast, I think I told the toilet story. That was a funny one too. But oh my God,
I think I only had one. I had one bad one with like I had one bad one with lasses. We were in, it was when I was on Eager in season like 2 or something.
Yeah,
I remember I got drunk and I like blacked out basically. Drank way too much. And Zap had to like help me back to the hotel. And I remember for some reason we only had one room. So it was like you said, it was the same layout. It was like Omega and Zap were in the 2-bedroom one. And then I think like Dare was on the couch or something like that. So last night we like shared the bigger bed. And I remember like the next morning, I remember I apparently like I had to get ready for he had to wake me up for my flight. And the second he woke me up, I just threw up, like all in the bathroom. Like it was just awful. And then I remember there being a point where I was like blacked out the whole time. I remember there was a point where I was like on my flight and I was like, wait, where am I right now? And I remember
on your flight?
Yes, I went through the airport.
Holy cow!
I mean, this is not
That
like a
is
sleep one. It's just a blackout drunk one. But like,
Oh my
I remember
God.
I went from, he woke me up, and I went through the airport, apparently like blacked out kind of, and I got to my flight safely. And that's like the weirdest feeling I've ever had. So I couldn't imagine like
you didn't know where you were, like on your flight,
idea.
like mid-flight.
Mid-flight, I slept
you like
on the
snapped
flight.
out of it.
I
finally.
snapped out of it. I was like, what is going on? And
holy cow!
yeah,
that is scary.
so yeah, TLDR, I do not drink like that anymore. Screw that, man. Screw that. Not good.
Have you had anybody ever sleep talk on any of your teams or sleepwalk? Any stories like that?
I don't think so. I'm a really bad person to sleep around because I snore really loudly. I move. Oh my god, my mom hated it when we would go on vacation because normally like my parents, like when I was little, we'd all like share beds, so it would normally be like one of my parents, one of my brothers, one of the other parent, one of whatever.
Yeah.
And Leah said, "Yeah, vouch." I move around all that, like I toss and turn when I sleep. I snore really loud. The only really funny, I think it's funny, she's gonna hate it. The only funny sleep story I have, I think I've told this before, is like it was like one of the first nights we were together. I went to go visit her where she's from, and then I allegedly, I do not remember this. I was like tossing and turning. I finally get to sleep. She finally is sleeping. And I literally rip the pillow out from under her head. The way she describes it, I literally rip the pillow out from under her head, and I like snap back to the other side of the bed, and then I sleep on it. And then she said,
Yoink?
I yoinked it, and then I just started snoring so loud I went to sleep. So I literally ripped her pillow out from under her head, and then I went right to sleep, and she couldn't sleep because I was snoring. So that's like her horror story of that. But yeah, I am not someone you want to be around when I'm sleeping. Not for sleepwalking. I just move. I cannot get comfortable at night. Like the stars have to align. Like I need to have like. I want to sleep cold. I need to have something on me, but it can't make me too hot. So like I'm kicking sheets off me until I'm like at the perfect temperature. I'm just weird with it.
That's funny.
Nothing I can do.
I sleep. It's so weird. So when I'm really tired, I get into this like crazy deep sleep that is so hard to wake me up. Like my friends would troll me like if I fell asleep first at a sleepover like in high school, it was GG for me. There's a video. I'll try to find it. I don't know if I can try to find it and maybe post it. But they built a cup fortress around me while I was sleeping, and I did not wake up. And they were like laughing and talking like the entire time. And I'm literally like I'm sleeping on a bed, like I'm just sleeping like this, like with my head down, like this, like on my stomach. And they literally built. I wake up and I'm like. My eyes, I'm like, what is going on? Like, there's cups around me. It was like Red Solo Cup Fortress,
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, knock it down or something, and they're like messing with me, and I literally go back to sleep. I wake up like a couple seconds later, and they're like, knock it down, and then I like move my arm like a little bit, and I knock it down just like that. For the audio listeners, watch this back. I just flung my arm, hit the desk, and I knocked down his iPad.
That's too good.
Oh man, but it's so weird. Like I get into these really. I probably move when I sleep as well. But when the thing is too is if I'm not super tired, then I won't get into like a super deep sleep like that. But like where I live right now in the team house, I'm on the middle floor, which everybody considers like the worst room because you literally can hear everybody from the upstairs, everybody from the downstairs. And if
you're on like the main floor.
Yeah, I'm on the main floor. So like no one really wanted that room. And I'm like, I don't care. Cause like when I fall asleep, I'm out. Like I don't hear anything. Same. And like you can hear everything in the house, but as long as I can fall asleep, I'm good. Like there's no issues.
Yeah.
But it's so weird. Like even if people are loud, I will not wake up. But if you step a single step into my room, instantly wake up. It is the weirdest thing.
That's crazy.
It is so weird. Like if someone's close to me, I instantly wake up. Unless I'm like we're the point like where because I think we were out all day doing stuff. We went to like a football game and like I was like so exhausted. And that's when I was on my bad sleep schedule arc as well, where I would like stay up all night and then go to school.
Full gamer mode.
Yeah. But if I'm not that tired, like is weird. I am a deep sleeper, but if someone gets close to me, I wake up instantly.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember I would have to like, if my brother had to wake me up for school or like help wake me up for school, or like if Leah has to wake me up, I've always said this to people, like, you need to literally punch me. Like, if you come in, you're like, you try to say something to me, you walk near me, I will not hear it, I will not move. I'm like, not kidding, like, you need to shove me, you gotta like punch me in the shoulder, like, you know, don't try to like hurt me, you know, just like quick punch in the shoulder, something like that. Like, I don't wake up to anything. I feel like even like the only loud noise I've ever remembered waking up to is when I have 2 cats, and when they were kittens, I had it was like a little like glass top table in my apartment, and I had like a vase on top of it, and I'd like put like flowers in it or whatever, like it's just decorative, okay? And I remember when they were kittens, it was like one of the first couple nights, like I was like kind of skeptical of letting them around at night. I finally let them around. I wake up, I just hear glass shattering, and I'm like, I know what that is. And thank God it wasn't the table, it was just the vase. But the cats literally climbed up on the table. They launched that thing. Like, I don't know how they moved it the way they did. It was across the whole apartment. Like, they punted that thing off the table.
Holy cow!
But that's the only loud noise I really remember waking up to.
That's funny. Sibley said, you ever been on such a specific sleep schedule where you start waking up to no alarm?
That's how I normally wake up.
The thing with me is I'm weird. I'm super weird as well with another thing with sleep. If I tell myself, like, if I have a flight that I have to catch, I will wake up without I will always set my alarm just in case, but I will always wake up 10 to 30 minutes before my alarm is set. Like, if I have an SPL game, I wake up without an alarm every single time. Yep. If I have a flight I have to catch, wake up with an alarm every single time. Like, if I have to be somewhere in the morning and I know that I have to be there and it's important, I will always wake up without an alarm. And I'm like, I always, when I do it, I'm like, how am I up right now? Especially if I only sleep like 3 hours as well. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've only slept like 2 to 3 hours before a flight, and I'm up like instantly without an alarm before the flight. It's great. I love that I could do that, but it's super good.
Yeah, I feel like I can snap into that all the time because like we've had like specifically with flights is the big one for me, where I'll be like, there's sometimes I have a flight and I have to like get up at like 4 or 5 a.m. to like get the like get to the airport in time, all that type of stuff. Yeah, I feel like I could be, for 3 weeks before that, I could be going to bed at like 3 a.m. and waking up at like 10 or something like that. But then that night before the flight, I will fall asleep like so easily at like 9 p.m. and wake up at like 4 like nothing happened.
That's the other thing. Weird. That's another thing too. I don't know if you have this, but people always ask me, is it hard to sleep before matches? But I always say it's easier for me before like SPL games, because what I always tell myself is like, if I don't sleep, I'm gonna play so much worse. So like that is like my motivation to actually sleep before a game. Like I've always never had an issue really.
I've had times where I wake up in the middle of the night and that owns me. That happened a couple weeks ago actually, and that really sucks. But like, yeah, I don't feel like I struggle like sitting up at night and like thinking about it. I just like normally getting to sleep is pretty easy for me, I think.
I trolled this past on Friday. I went to bed so late. I slept like 4 hours. I was playing this game with my friends. I haven't talked to them in a while. Backpack Battles, it's called. It's a super sick game. It's like an auto battler game. It's like just a demo on Steam right now. I've been playing a good amount. And I was playing that game with them, and like I didn't realize it was like 3:30 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, I game at 11 tomorrow. Oh my God, I trolled this weekend so hard because I was laughing. You messaged me today, and I responded. I'm like, I just woke up. LOL. It was like 1:20 because I literally had no sleep the night before. So like I slept in today. I don't usually sleep in anymore, but it was funny. But yeah.
Have you had a hard time sleeping before like World's Finals and stuff? Someone in chat said.
That's a good question. No, I was good.
Yeah.
For all the finals I played before, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think maybe the first one I was like, I remember the first one. I roomed with Ven back then.
Yeah.
And I remember Ven and I would talk about like right before we go to bed, like we would talk about the next day a little bit. And I remember like as we're falling asleep, the last memory I have is Ven saying like, it's going to be so easy, we're going to stomp them. And I remember falling asleep like pretty quickly. I'm like, maybe Ven's just the GOAT for that. I don't know.
Dude, Ven is the man.
Ven put me to sleep, no problem.
Dude, I love talking to Ven. I feel like I've had some of the best conversations with when I teamed with him. He was always super
so fun
to talk to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we should
wrap it up.
Yeah, long day of SPL. It's 11 p.m. man for people at the studio. Freaking
we got Billy on overtime.
Yeah, rip Billy and Lewis. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope everyone has a fun Halloween and enjoys the holiday. Thanks guys for listening live. We always appreciate it. And of course, shout outs to the people still at the studio because they've been here, my God, since probably 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Shout outs.
Yeah, behind the scenes, you guys don't know how hard they go. 9, my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We always say we owe Billy, but we really do owe Billy. And
Leah said,
everyone, yeah.
Not to alarm anyone, but time change next week.
I thought we were done with that.
Me too.
I thought we were done with the whole... I thought we were done pretending like daylight savings was good. I thought that was like a thing. Like this was...
Isn't... Okay, wait. One last thing before we wrap it up. Is there any European viewers in here? Isn't it non-existent in Europe? There's no daylight savings, right?
I think it depends on the place, but yeah, I thought so.
I think most places don't have it, but I'm not sure. That's crazy.
I'd love to be done with daylight savings personally. Next spring it starts, okay. Or it ends. Thinking about this Switch is the last one.
Time change in Scotland. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Wait. We're going. Hold on. To be clear. When we do daylight savings this time of year, doesn't it move the clock forward an hour? So you lose an hour of daylight in the afternoon. Am I crazy? Does that make sense? Instead of it getting dark at 7 p.m., it'll go dark at 6 p.m.
Backwards?
Oh, back an hour.
Okay.
I forward, back, I don't care. I'm saying, when is the sun up longer in the evening or shorter in the evening? Spring forward to fall. Guys, I don't care about the rules. I just need to know sunlight.
I think the sunlight would be longer, right? Because you're trying to save the daylight.
It's going to get dark at 5 p.m. is what Leah said. I would like that.
Well, it gets darker earlier, but if you didn't do the daylight savings, it would even get dark. Or no, it would get dark later then, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would like.
So it would be opposite. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm dumb. Don't listen to anything I said. I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
I don't know how it works either, but I would like the permanent one to be the one where it doesn't get dark at 5 p.m. in the winter, because that's depressing. I hate it. Oh, now my day's ruined. We were having such a good podcast. Now everything's ruined. Unlucky.
Summer isn't. That's the best part about the summer is that it doesn't get darker at that time.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Where can we find all the stuff, good stuff?
Yeah, we'll be back probably next Sunday, last weekend of SPL regular season as well. So that should be a good time. But yeah, we'll be right back here on Aurora's Twitch. I almost said Twitch's Aurora there. And then, yeah, you can find the VODs at my YouTube at PBM Smite. And then on Spotify, Inside the SPL. Also, quick YouTube update. We should be doing 2 episodes a week a little bit, like I had said.
Where are you at on the YouTube? I haven't looked recently.
I know I uploaded the aggro one myself. So we're getting close to back up to date. It probably within a couple weeks. I know you guys have been waiting for them, but we're getting close. I don't want to do 1 episode a day. I want to
space them out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we're getting there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. Thanks to the production stuff again. I appreciate you guys. Last weekend of SPL tomorrow. We play each other. Big grudge match. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Yep,
bye.
We're enemies. Bye-bye.